Windblown by Britt Norlander. When howling winds whip up in Earth's largest deserts, it's time to head for cover. Billowing gusts kick up sand, forming walls of fast-moving dust that can block the sun. You can't see anything that's more than a few meters away, says Joseph Prospero, an atmospheric chemist at Florida's University of Miami who studies dust storms. Grains of sand pelt against your skin like thousands of piercing needles, and musty-smelling grit coats your mouth and nostrils. The amount of dust that gets in the air feels suffocating, says Prospero. For people who live in and around the deserts along Earth's midsection, such as Central Asia's Gobi Desert and Africa's Sahara Desert, dust storms frequently disrupt daily routines. But scientists have discovered that the effects of dust storms extend much farther than the desert's sandy borders. Global winds lift dust from Asia and Africa and carry it to other continents thousands of miles away, including North America. Now, many scientists are concerned that the grimy visitor may be putting people and other organisms in danger. Hoping to learn more about the storm's potential health risks, researchers are following the dust trails. World Tour. During the Asian dust storm season, from March through May, winds frequently blow dust clouds eastward across the Pacific Ocean. In just a week, the dust can complete a journey from Asia over the Pacific and across the entire United States. As Asia's storms settle, windstorms begin kicking up dust in Africa's deserts. Between May and October, African dust drifts westward across the Atlantic Ocean, making its way toward the southeastern coast of the U.S. and islands in the Caribbean Sea. Foul clouds. The billows of traveling dust disrupt air quality, creating hazy skies along their routes. Eventually, the winds slow and can no longer keep the sandy particles airborne. The dust drops from the sky, depositing a gritty film on every exposed surface. Studies have shown that this falling desert dust is actually an important nutrient for plants. Researchers think that rainforests in the northern Hawaiian Islands are nurtured by Asian dust events, says Dale Griffin, a microbiologist with the U.S. Geological Survey. But the same falling dust that is welcomed by plants can cause health problems for humans and other animals that inhale it. Hitchhikers. Many scientists are now concerned that dust storms are also carrying harmful chemical pollutants. In many areas around deserts, farmers sprinkle artificial herbicides and pesticides onto the soil. When that soil blows skyward, these dangerous chemicals can hitch a ride too. By examining Asian dust that has been dumped on the U.S., scientists have also discovered that soot and other air pollutants can latch onto the particles. In New England, scientists analyzed the material left behind after dust from a Gobi Desert storm passed by in 2001. They discovered that the airborne particles contain the toxic gas carbon monoxide, probably emitted by a power plant in Asia. As a dust storm generated in Asia passes over urban areas, polluted air gets mixed with the dust, and it all gets transported at the same time, explains Robert Talbot, an atmospheric chemist at the University of New Hampshire. Dried out. Scientists believe that local sources of air pollution outweigh the input from foreign dust storms, but the amount of dust traveling across oceans and the pollutants it carries is growing. Today, an estimated 3 billion metric tons of dust blow around Earth each year. And according to the United Nations Environmental Program, dust storms in Northeast Asia have increased fivefold in the last 50 years. Africa's storms have also intensified over the last 30 years. What's to blame for the increase? Africa has been experiencing a drought, or period of time when there is unusually low rainfall. With less moisture weighing down the sand, it's easier for strong winds to kick it up. And in some areas, humans may be partly to blame for the growing intensity of the dust storms. Overuse of water has drained lakes, leaving behind dusty holes. Plus, farmers sometimes cut down forests to plant crops, or they allow livestock to overgraze grasslands. In areas where agriculture strips the protective vegetation from the surface of the soil, you can get a lot more dust moving, says Prospero. Clean up. Better farming practices may keep more soil packed close to the ground. But, Griffin says, you are never going to stop the dust storms. They have been occurring for billions of years. Still, scientists hope that by reducing worldwide pollution from sources like power plants and cars, the most negative impacts of the storms can be lessened. There's not much that humans can do to control the emissions of dust from a desert, says Talbot, but you can do something to reduce the emissions of pollutants in industrial areas. Okay. 2 major global wind belts blow dust around Earth. Along the planet's midsection, trade winds, examples shown above, blow from east to west while moving toward the equator. These winds propel dust from Africa across the Atlantic Ocean. At mid-latitudes, prevailing westerlies, examples shown above, travel from west to east while blowing toward Earth's poles. Dust from Asia that gets caught in this wind pattern journeys to the U.S.